you interested in real estate investing but not quite sure where to get started? Do you want to get the know-hows on creating ongoing passive income using the buy and hold strategy? Hi, I'm Janice Bowles, licensed realtor and co-founder of B Premier Ventures, a real estate development and consulting firm where we buy and beautify distressed real estate, renovate it, and resell for profit. With over 15 years of investing experience, B Premier has extensive knowledge in rural land development, fix and flips, and rental acquisitions. B Premier's current portfolio consists of properties within Florida and Virginia. Our firm services includes investor project consulting, project management, and group coaching. For more information, visit our website at bpremierventures.com and schedule a complimentary discovery session or subscribe to our email list. It's free. Follow me on Instagram at Janice Bowles for additional real estate investing tips. B Premier Ventures, we buy and beautify.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of a Let's Do It talk show. It's me, your girl, Ladrine Howard Peterson, the CEO and founder of Do It, delivering on ideas and thoughts. And what I do in a nutshell is I help to turn dreamers into doers. And I do it from two aspects. I do it from the aspect of career development, interview preparation, job preparedness. If you're trying to get your promotion and you don't know how to do that, and resume writing is my thing. And then from the other side of it, business. So if you have some thoughts and ideas and don't know how to turn them into fruition, guess what? I'm your girl. If you have a business and you're looking to expand it or you're looking for a marketing strategy, that's right, it's me. I'm your girl. So here on the Let's Do It talk show, it was primarily designed for entrepreneurs. However, as we went into programs and different aspects of it, we figured that it was so many different areas that entrepreneurs needed to go into. So we talk about a little bit of everything. We talk about faith. We talk about finances. We talk about the future, which is human resources. Career is being newly added to it, as well as entrepreneurship. And then the last one is family, where we talk about relationships, and we also put a highlight on special initiatives and things that are going on in the world. Today's episode is near and dear to my heart. So everyone knows that I love HR, right? So I love HR. But you know what I do first? I talk about my weekend. And before we get into all the HR and I overly get excited today, let's talk about the weekend. So this weekend, my grandson had his 7th birthday. And with this, it was so many different activities and so many surprises for him. One being in particular was outlining all of the different pictures that he had experienced throughout various different ages. But his parade, it was so cute. His principal's wife, teacher, classmates, and friends, they all surprised him with the parade. And you should have seen his face when he walked out. Other pictures shared were from me and my walk, so I'm getting my walk thing on. And then that last picture was of my food and the different things that I'm doing to cook. So on the show, as you look at all the different pictures about the weekend, you'll see him. He's just growing up and getting big. Oh. And we call him the little charmer because he is absolutely a charmer. And that's what he does. So here's the surprise. They're walking up. Oh my goodness. And he's like walking out. His mother tripped him into a trail. And then he sees all the cars that are coming. And oh my God, he's so excited. He just felt so special. He loved how everyone acknowledged him. And he just couldn't get himself together. That's his principal's wife, along with his principal and other friends that are riding along. So when I tell you he was extremely excited, it was just amazing. He had a very good time. And although the pandemic, because he's used to having like really big parties, although the pandemic and everything, he really had a great time. They surprised him, and he felt like a little celebrity. So we made hand signs and did what we needed to do to help him celebrate his birthday. It was an awesome time. And then my pastor had his anniversary. Oh, that was the Prince. That was Prince. And then I did a lot of reading over the weekend with clients and other information. So today's episode is all about employment, finding employment during an epidemic. So a lot of the stats and a lot of information on the news are showing that the unemployment rate is like is at a point of where it's never been before. So as people are looking at it and people are looking at the percentages of it, they're thinking like, the pandemic is going on, so you can't find a job. But no, that is not how it's happening, and we have proof here today. So one of the things that I'm going to do, we're just going to run down the topics. We have a new contributing host, Dr. Karen, so you will be able to hear her introduce herself and tell you a little bit about her in a moment. And then we have we're going to talk about like various things and various ways of searching tools and searching tips. And then we have like a serious like testimony here about a young man who is doing his thing. And if you saw my post, you already know what I'm talking about. But Mr. Campbell is here and is going to be joining us. And then last but not least, we're going to give you some tips on special hiring authorities. There's so many mechanisms and so many different things out there that people do not use that it's like almost like giving a job away. So we're going to dive right into it, and we're going to have Dr. Karen to come on, and she's going to join me in dialogue. Hi, Dr. Karen!
Hi!
So welcome again. So you first came as a guest, but now you are here, and I'm so excited to have you as a contributing host. And on this night, on the third Monday of each month, it's going to be a party. You know that, right?
Okay.
So I always talk about how much I love HR and my engagement with HR. And you know how I word it, right? You're my HR friend, and we are going to play in the HR sandbox. So when I tell you, it is about to be lit on the third Monday of the month. So tell everybody a little bit about your background, and then also about your company and just HR. Like, that's what I really want you to talk about. But all the other stuff is important too. They need to know who you are, Doc. But can you tell them who you are?
Absolutely. I am Dr. Karen Hills Pruden. I am known as the entrepreneur for corporate female entrepreneurs. My business is Pruden Global Business Solutions Consulting, where I specialize in coaching female mid-level managers who aspire to senior leadership positions. I am also known as the career elevation expert because I assist women through confidential career counseling, mentoring, workshops, leadership development, and image reconstruction. We also go through mock interviews and resume services, and I also do some conference speaking about some of those topics. I have been recognized by the governor of Virginia for my work in equity, diversity, and inclusion, and I am a certified diversity executive, 5-time author, with 2 of my books reaching Amazon's #1 bestseller list. I have over 20 years experience in human resource leadership, and prior to that, I was a manager, and I am an international speaker where I have impacted students as far as Pretoria, South Africa, and my previous speaking engagements have been for the Chamber of Commerce, the Society of Human Resource Managers, Virginia Union University, and the NAACP. I love HR and all about HR, and so I am excited to be here to speak HR with a dream and all those who are interested in what it is that we have to share.
Oh my goodness, you don't even know how, like, seriously, how excited I am about this. So big shout out to Cheryl Wood. Like,
yes.
we were on a call and she was like, oh, I need you all to link up. I already had written your name down as you were talking and giving your overview. I was like, oh, that is definitely one to make a connection with. And immediately, when we started talking about the various things, so a lot of times when you have people with a same background in terms of a field or an arena, you have it where there's a lot of overlapping, or they can't see various ways where they can gel together. We gelled immediately. It was like a clear point line in terms of federal government and private sector. And you're talking about international, like, I haven't played with anybody that has done it internationally, and you know, like, that's my whole area in terms of FDA over a 10-year span of foreign post offices and hiring and sending families over there. So we can, in Pretoria, South Africa is actually where our station was in South Africa. So we can talk South Africa, we can talk South Africa, China, whatever policies and law. That's for another show. So today we're gonna stay in our territory on U.S. soil. We're gonna stay on U.S. soil. But so many things about you that I immediately was able to click with. Not only did you retire or, leave out of a job, but moved into entrepreneurship. So my two lanes. My two lanes are HR and business. So we are going to have a party on this show. So I'm telling you, everybody that's listening, anything about a job, if you're looking for a new job, you're looking to change your career, you're having problems with promotions or career development, you need an individual development plan, you need to make sure that you stay connected with us and you watch our show and everything else that we're doing. Because it's not just the show. This Saturday, we have an event, and you'll see the flyer later on where we're talking about career elevation. So when I tell you this partnership has made my heart smile, we are going to do the daggone thing. So I'm telling everybody out there, there's no reason, there's no excuse that you should not be in your dream job. So let's go ahead and jump into the show and talk a little bit about tips on your search, on employment search. So as I had mentioned before, there's so many people who are in situations where either they lost their job or they were furloughed and hours got cut back from their job, but feeling like they're in a situation of I don't know how and I don't know when. More so making people want to go back to work and wanting things to open back up for their security and for the benefits, where we know that that's a big danger zone. Because my thing that I've been saying is, if you go in the work and you die, it's not going to make any difference whether you have the money or not, right? So we got to be smart about this. But this is a time right here, right now, where you and I really, anybody who has an interest and anybody who has felt like they were stuck, we're about to rock this. We are about to rock this. So I have Do It University, where I have a number of classes where I take someone through the whole cycle of employment, but also not that, but monitor and managing your own career. I had a lot of people that were in places around me, but I tell you, I managed my career, and I know that your story is very similar. We will be talking about not only the ups, but we'll be talking about the downs too. We'll be talking about some people that you may come in contact with that you feel like they're hating on your career, or you feel just different things. So, oh my God, we're gonna put it in perspective, because I feel myself jumping and I'm ready. So let's talk about searches. Let's talk about and provide some tips on different ways to search for employment. And for the private sector, connections and relationships are huge. They think that is an inside job for the federal government, and I'm not saying that it isn't a aspect of it, but talk about it from the private sector. Talk about different avenues that people should be connected with if they're looking for something in the private sector.
Absolutely. If you are looking for employment in the private sector, then you need to consider everyone as a possible resource. And when I say everyone, I am talking about individuals that you meet at church. I'm talking about individuals in your professional organizations. I'm talking about your alumni, your sororities. I'm talking about your friend, a friend of a friend who happens to work in the industry that you're interested in or that you have experience in. Former employers, people that you used to work for,
Right.
you need to let them know, hey, I'm looking for employment and this is what I am looking for. So you
Absolutely.
need to be very specific when you share information with individuals and let them know that you are seeking employment. You have a LinkedIn network. Hopefully, you're up on LinkedIn. If not, I suggest that you get a profile. It's free. And you want to touch base with the go-to people in your industry on LinkedIn and see if they know of any opportunities within your organization. You also want to, and I've been sharing this with a lot of people lately, don't sleep on the nonprofit networks.
Yes.
The nonprofit organizations are really hiring a lot because a lot of the nonprofit organizations are organizations that are helping individuals of need. They are very service-based organizations, and they're doing a lot of hiring. So you want to go to organizations like Encore.org. You want to go to Idealist.org. Encore is actually for people who are doing a second career. They have about 5 million jobs up there. You want to go to idealist.org. Bridgespan Group Deal is a search firm that you can go to that can help you out. They have part-time and full-time positions. There's also in the nonprofit industry Common Good Careers, which is also a search firm, and the Foundation Center and Nonprofit Times and the Chronicle for Philanthropy, because the nonprofit opportunities are very strong now. About 68% of the nonprofit CEOs who were asked in the last month said that they are still hiring and they're looking to expand their workforce because, of course, there's a greater need now because we're in a pandemic.
Yes.
And so don't sleep. And then you have your regular sources, which is your Indeed, your Simply Hire, and your LinkedIn, which is for your for-profit organizations. So you just want to let everyone know that you're looking for a job and just not overlook anybody in your network or who is the network of a friend or family member when you're searching for a job. Don't keep it a secret.
Yeah, and those are very good tips. For me, from the federal government side, yes, a lot of people talk about is who you know. I didn't know anybody when I stepped into the federal government, and this is my 28th year. Along the way, I have learned people and learned to get to know people, and I have learned networking from the basis of my job. So everybody thinks I'm an extrovert, but I'm a true introvert. And even in terms of my job, in a way, I had those tendencies. But when it came to meetings and organizations, like the Society of Human Resources Management, I'm HR. So I connected with that to stay abreast onto everything that's going on. But the things that I want to talk about is if you don't know anyone, the best thing that you can do is educate yourself. And one way that you can do that is learn the organizations. If you are looking for a federal government job, you should subscribe to the free newsletter, Federal Times. Federal Times tells you what is going on with all of the organizations. There are surveys and information where you can go in and you can type up best organizations to work for, best federal organizations to work for. And the way that they get rated is from the employees. So the employees have an employee value survey that they do every year, and they talk about the treatment from their ability to get promotions, how they feel about their job, is their work beneficial to them, do they feel supported, all of these things, and that's how the federal agencies are ranked. Then the second thing is pay attention to what goes on with the world. The problem that people make is they are so micro-minded. They look and they pay attention to what's going on right now in a given span. So right now, everybody is focusing on COVID-19. Last year, we had the federal government furlough. Years before that, we had so many different things that had went along. Years ago, 9/11. All of these things impact how businesses operate. So in the time when these various things happen, pay attention to who's in the news, who's at the microphone giving press conferences. Those are the people who will never run out of funding. Those are the people who are funded first. So when you go in and you're looking for things, you want to match it up to what you want to do. But what you want to do can be in various organizations. Like if people are paralegals or attorneys, they automatically run to the Department of Justice. That's not the only place where you can go to be an attorney. There are every organization have their attorney. So it's just a matter of kind of like paying attention to everything that's going on and school yourself. And I know, like for me, because I'm into HR, these things are like my playtime. You know what I mean? But if you're on it and you're on your job, these are the very things. When I'm coaching my clients and when I am teaching a class, I'm telling them these tidbits of information, because when you collect them together and you pay attention, you realize it. The last point that I'll say about that is in terms of organization. So I have worked for HHS, Health and Human Services, which you see on the TV every day now, my entire federal career, which is 28 years. And I have worked for the Food and Drug Administration for 20 years. Upon entering that, I paid attention to the culture and I paid attention to how they treated their employees and your ability to climb the ladder. I received a promotion every year. By the time I got to the top of the ladder, I was 7 years ahead of what I had charted it to be. 7 years ahead. And I talk openly about how the federal government don't pay for college degrees, right? You got to think smart. They didn't pay for my college degree in terms of, here's my college degree, this is how much it costs. They paid for each one of my classes, and my classes equal what? 2 master's degrees. So you have to be smart about what you're doing. Stop leaning solely on your supervisor to manage your career. Your supervisor does have some responsibility and even has some advantage in which they can help you or push you up. But never let that stop you. Never let that deter you from your pathway. So yes, who you know and all of that, there is some merit to that. But I can tell you, and I'm a witness, I didn't know anybody. I came from Southeast D.C. going out to Rockville, Maryland, which was like a brand new world to me. But I figured out the way. I figured out my pathway. That's why I am so passionate about it. That's why I never left FDA, and I don't plan on leaving there until I retire, because I learn and I understand the culture. Now, you know how they call people senior? I know I don't look it and I don't act it, but I'm like one of the senior HR administrative officials for my organization, and I have put my time in, know the organization, understand it, know the history of it. So we'll stop right there. So stop relying on people only. That's one slither of it, just one aspect of it. Dr. Karen, do you have anything else to add to that?
All that what you said is true. You have to educate yourself on the inner workings of the organization, and you also need to. And from the private sector, a lot of times things won't be covered as well by your employer. But you have to. I believe in investing in yourself, and so invest in yourself. You'll get it back threefold when it comes to your career. So if it's something that there's no tuition reimbursement, if they're not going to pay for a conference or a training class that you know is going to take your skill set to the next level, then invest in yourself, because it will pay off.
Yes, absolutely. And when we get to the next topic of talking about the testimony, that's going to be one of the great things that I'm so excited about. How so many times interviewees, they go into an organization and they are being interviewed, right? But when you have your packet together and you put your best foot forward, my client is interviewing companies, organizations in this federal government and private sector. He did what he needed to do. He followed along the pathway, and don't get me wrong, that resume is a killer. So when I talk about how he packaged up everything, and now he is in a situation, like, get this, he's no longer being interviewed. he is the interviewer. He is looking at all of these different companies and checking the criteria to make his decision. So he got all of this in front of him. And it's because he did his work. He did the work. Look, beloved, I feel like a y'all man, but he did his work in creating pathways. Oh my God, we're all going to have so much fun on this show until it's going to be amazing. So what I suggest you all do is get you a pad, a notebook and a pad, just for let's do it. Like, we're going to help you all around, but like this HR piece, y'all don't even know. Y'all think I'm hyped about everything else. I'm extremely hyped about HR. So let's make it work. Let's help you all with your dream career. Let's do it. Let's do it, right?
Let's do it.
So
let's do it.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick commercial, and on the other side of it, we're gonna talk about, oh my goodness, we're gonna talk about how did Mr. Campbell at a very young age get lined up in such a way that my story is magical, but when I tell y'all, I am blown away by his story. And every day I'm getting a call, I got another job offer. I got another job offer. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to dig in. We're going to tell you exactly how it happened. On the flip side, we will be right back. Let's go to commercial.
Interested in real estate investing but not quite sure where to get started? Do you want to get the know-hows on creating ongoing passive income using the buy and hold strategy? Hi, I'm Janice Bowles, licensed realtor and co-founder of B Premier Ventures, a real estate development and consulting firm where we buy and beautify distressed estate, renovate it, and resell for profit. With over 15 years of investing, B Premier has extensive knowledge in rural land development, flips, and rental acquisitions. The current portfolio consists of properties within Florida and Virginia. Our services includes investor project consulting, project management, and group coaching. For more information, visit our website at bventure.com and schedule a complimentary discovery session or subscribe to our email list. It's free. Follow me on Instagram at Janice Bowles for additional real estate investing tips. B Premier Ventures, we buy and beautify.
So welcome back, everybody. They had to go in there and double check my mic and everything. I'm already, like, my voice already carries, but today it is like extra carrying. I don't know if y'all can tell or not, but I'm very excited. Like, this is truly my topic. Y'all have to understand that I have worked in HR for 28 years. This is what I know. This is what I've learned. This is what I've trained myself to do. And this is what I have trained others to do. So to be able to have a platform and to come in and have someone to partner with me to talk about this, I already know, like, the reward that's received from my clients. Me working one-on-one with my clients or me having classes, I see the rewards from their promotions, from them getting federal jobs, from them getting outside jobs. So I get to see that. But it's those that I need to reach that don't understand that I always talk about dreams, right? And I always talk about pathways, and people will look at my story of me traveling around the world for my job and personally. People look at me climbing the ladder of success and doing all the things that I've done, supervising over 200 employees. mentoring so many that I can't even count. But the reason why I do that in terms of reaching back and making sure that I'm teaching others is because I put in the work to understand this. And once I figured out the process, I was like, it's like butter. Just think of all of the things that you do because you're passionate about, that it comes so easy to you. Like this right here, this is my zone. This is my thing. When I finish somebody's resume, I might just do a dance in my house. Just because when I look at the beginning of what is given to me, I'm like, okay, you know, some of them are very challenging and understandable. You're not trained to do HR. I've been doing HR for 28 years, older than some of your kids. So understanding this in my pathway, I just thank God like so much for even, I'm always trying to be intentional about things that I do, right? However, there's things that in terms of just being obedient, they led me to the right path and understanding. So now that I have made it in terms of the federal career, like in terms of climbing up the ladder to where I want to be, I'm able to reach back and help others and help other individuals to understand. So if you want to call it the game of life, you can call it the game of life. And I always talk about throughout my HR career how if you ever heard my signature story when I'm speaking, I talk about how I used to take manuals on the subway with me to gain an understanding. And at some point, it didn't matter my grade and my salary, but at some point my knowledge superseded some of the very senior level people, and they began to put me in the front room, at the boardroom, at the front table. I started out taking notes in the back, but because I knew my policy and I understood everything at a very young, sometimes the only African American, I was placed at the table because of my knowledge. So nobody can take from you your knowledge and understanding. And then once you figure it out, I pretty much demystified the federal government process in which people think is so tedious. Even back in the day when there were KSAs, I used to rock KSAs. So I'm telling y'all, make sure that y'all follow us on social media. Pay attention. Like all of our social media handles are Let's Do It Talk Show on Facebook as well as on Instagram. And we also have a YouTube page. Make sure you follow us. Some good information, great things are all there. I want to give a huge shout out to some of the people who are on the line with us. We have Andre Watts, Gianni Flowers, Alice Ellison, Major Bandy, Neek Shalom. You'll hear about her at the end of our show. And then we also have Sabrina Easterlin and a couple other people. But Sabrina, let me shout you out real quick. So y'all know I don't advertise my business, but I stay busy. Big shout out to you, Sabrina, and make sure that we connect because you have referred so many people to me. While everybody is trying to figure out what to do with the time, I keep saying that I've been in the lab because I've been in the lab. Just before I came here, I was working on getting the resume done so that I can meet my timeline. So when I tell y'all, everything, the world is still going on. Yes, we are sheltered in, but if it's a new job that you're looking for, you're looking to change careers, y'all want to check out your girl. You want to see your girl. So, Karen, Dr. Karen, did you have anybody else that was that you saw?
No, I don't see anybody at this time.
Okay, great. Just want to make sure that we shout out people. So, without any delay and any further delays to get you to this testimony. So, I want to introduce you to this young man. His name is Colton Campbell, and it is so funny this is my first time ever really putting eyes on him. However, if you recall, sometime back, a young lady, and it was 2 years ago, where I did the vision board. It might have been last year, I don't know, so much stuff happened, but I did the vision board for the youth entrepreneurs. His sister was one of my entrepreneurs. She was the makeup artist who actually had developed a line of some makeup on her own, as well as had been highlighted in various numbers things. And she's still in high school with her own business. So his mom and I connected through that avenue, and she reached out. It hasn't even been that long. Reached out several weeks ago and said, hey, can you take a look at my son's resume and tell me, is there anything that you can do to make it better? I got it, did an evaluation, and I pretty much gave her the feedback. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. This is strong. This looks nice, but it needs to have this on it. So when I went through, I'm telling you, when I finished with his resume, I was like, oh, he's about to rock this. He's about to rock this. So Colton Campbell is who I want to introduce you to. So Colton, I want you to share with everyone, we're going to talk about your journey. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about your journey. So in terms of the number of job offers, today, I know you got another one today, because I had to change my flyer. I had a number on there, but every day your mom kept calling me, so I was just like, your mother said just put multiple. So we're going with multiple. How many job offers do you have as of today?
First of all, good evening, and thank you for having me.
Good evening.
I have up to 5 job offers now, I believe, is the number.
You losing count.
Keep track. It's very challenging to keep track when you have to think about, weighing pros and cons and which one works the best for you.
Yeah. So what I want to do, by way of you providing a brief introduction about yourself, can we take it back to high school? Let's take it back to overall your experience in high school, and in terms of you and your mother and your parents collaborating and having a discussion on the future. Because the future is so important. A lot of people focus on the right now, but I tell people over and over and over again, and I'm very big picture, sometimes way out there, but that's what I do. I'm a strategist. But when you plan and have a plan that you follow and a goal that you're working towards, it makes the activities and the actions that you do to become more intentional. So talk to us about high school. Tell me about your experience in high school, and what school did you go to?
So I attended DeMatha Catholic High School in Hyattsville, Maryland. Really, my career path started, I guess you could say it started with me always going back to elementary school. I remember doing a 4th grade project where we were asked to decide on who the next president would be. And I remember sitting down talking to my mom looking for some help. And, we came up with Barack Obama, which would later become, the first Black president. And, looking at him and all his achievements, it's so early on, as such a very young man, I was inspired, and I knew at that moment I wanted to be involved in politics. So beginning my freshman year at DeMatha Catholic High School, I wanted to, start my path and start figuring out how I can best align myself to achieve my goal, which would be to, one day run for public office. I was playing football at the time, and it was my sophomore year where I had the first opportunity to work on Capitol Hill as the United States Senate page. And for those who aren't familiar, the pages are the ones who kind of make sure that the Senate is working and flowing at a very high level on its day-to-day. So we're in charge of running bills throughout the Capitol. We're in charge of making copies. We're in charge of having day-to-day engagements with senators, conversations, and other activities. And from there, balancing football and my career at a very young age, which is very difficult, but it was something I was very up to the challenge to do, and I was excited to do. I was enjoying it every step of the way. So from there, going on into my college experience, I attended first Glenville State College in West Virginia, where I was awarded an athletic scholarship. There, I would play football, and then I would also come home and I would do internships. My first one was for Congressman Steny Hoyer, who at the time was the minority whip. That was a great summer experience for me. While I was there, we worked on a lot of great things. One of the biggest things we worked on was gun control. which was when they had this huge filibuster on the House floor, and we were receiving phone calls, and we were having to run out onto the floor constantly to stop the Republicans from voting on a bill. And then from there, I decided that I wanted to engage more in my career, and you wanted to invest more in myself, as you guys have been talking about. And I decided to put football aside and to come back home and attend the University of Maryland College Park, and to change my major to a public policy major and something that was more aligned with what my goals would be in the future. So after doing that, I stopped playing football. I picked up another job, and I started working, part-time while I was in school, and also, working on trying to find other ways on getting employment. And while at the University of Maryland, I was able to start an internship with the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation as a student trainee in their division of resolutions and receivership first, and then to later move on to their complex institutions supervisory and resolutions division. And I graduated just recently in December with my degree in public policy, and I just recently concluded my internship with the FDIC back in April.
All right, so let's start from that point, right? So how former President Barack Obama, like, you saw that and you were like, oh my goodness, this is something that I want to do. So I always talk to parents about nurturing what their kids are saying and what their kids are doing. Even if some point you had changed your mind, because there probably was hundreds of kids that said that they wanted to be go into politics because of that. But still, when you nurture off of that, the ones who are serious about it, you will continue to see this pathway in the threads that go into it, right? So shout out to your parents for nurturing you and allowing you to talk about this and to walk towards different things that will build upon you and helping you with your dream. Then a huge shout out to you, because in terms of football, anyone normally when they're in sports, and this is the thing in terms of the whole scholarship and the variations of things, people, it's hard for someone to turn from that whenever they have an inkling of sports to be in their dreams. So for you to stand by your decision of wanting to go into politics and making those different moves in terms of switching college, switching your major, and really getting focused on that, huge shout out to all of you all, because all of these things are building blocks. You don't know exactly what's going to happen along the way, but when you work at it and you are intentional about these things and what you're doing, when it aligns up to your goal and where you want to get, then that's where you're doing. And sometimes when you're doing the evaluation of the two, and we'll talk about criteria in a moment when we get to talking about your job, when you're looking at the criteria of the two, sometimes you're looking at the wrong thing, and a lot of time money and popularity are often the leaders that people follow through. And those are not the core components of what makes you fulfill your dream and what satisfies you. And more so, even all of these things, what aligns you with the will that God has for you in your life. When He has a will for your life, everything, it doesn't even matter, because all wasn't good with you. So hear me out. I'm taking this from December to the ending of your internship, right? Because I started talking to you when your internship was ending. So again, when you are walking in alignment with the will that God has on your life and you're being obedient, it doesn't matter how crazy and how scary it looks. He always puts the right people in your place at the right time to make everything happen. So let's talk about a moment there. We have a lot of ups to talk about, but let's talk about the moment when you and I met. It wasn't a happy moment. So you can describe your feelings, but I'll set it up. So you were at the point where you had graduated, you had been an intern with this organization for almost 2 years. and you were in a program that it was just lined up looking real nice, right? That at the end of the 2 years, you just knew you was going to get converted because they had the ability to do that. But it didn't work out that way. So pick up from there. Like, let's be, because we're going to be real about everything that's happening and everything that's going on. So today, we can smile very happily about your 5 job offers and counting, but there was a moment where things were a little bit shaky. So share your experience with that.
Yeah, absolutely. You're spot on. We can start going all the way back to September when I first started looking for jobs. That's one of the biggest things you have to have in this game. Looking for a job is that you have to have the forward thinking to know that you got to put some time and energy into this and give yourself enough space so that you can come out of college and have a job. So, I chose to start looking in September so that by the time January came around after graduation, I'd be ready for a job. And unfortunately, things didn't work out that way.
Right.
We went from September all the way until probably mid-April before I got my first job offer. That's a lot of time that went by, and like you said, it wasn't the best. You start looking at yourself in the mirror. You start saying like, well, did I really start doing the thing? Did I really do the things I set out to do? Did I really do everything that I could have done? You start questioning yourself, but at the end of the day, you gotta feel confident in your ability and your skills. The things that you've done, and I definitely was very confident in myself. And you brought that out in my resume.
Yeah, and so, but thank you for that. But like in the discussion, because this is my first time ever seeing you. I got the picture, so that's how I knew how you look. But other than that, it has been through text messaging, and then through a conversation where I first had the discussion with you. So important thing in terms of how everything went. Again, your internship in politics was a great thing for you, because how I focused on your current job and was like looking at the other things was like, okay, there's a short period of time. But immediately when you talked about your goal and what you wanted to do, I was like, oh, let's highlight this greatly. So a lot of people often get to a point where they dismiss summer jobs, they dismiss internships or jobs that they only had like for a short period of time, seasonal jobs and everything. But I'm telling you, I can turn that skill set into some magic, and I can wordsmith it in a way and convey it to expand on the duties and the responsibilities that you have. So my conversation with your mom, as she told me the situation, I was like, let me see the resume. And when I went through it, I told her that I would get back to her later because I had something going on. But immediately when I looked at it, I already knew what it was that you needed to make your resume speak for you. I was like, there's so many different hidden nuggets in this resume that I know that I can pull it out. So I didn't even go through the regular consultation that I do to sit down and go through my mechanism of giving the feedback. I sat there and I gave your mother the feedback on my cell phone because it was just like, oh, I can rock this. And then in terms of the conversation that we had. So when I first developed the draft, and I was like, okay, and I had the questions for you, because one of the things, and you probably remember this because I probably said it to you over and over again, was impact. Impact. Like, yes, you did this, and it was more so of me interviewing you like, so what? Not so what in a negative way of like, so what? It's like you did this, but so what? Who did you impact? How did you change? What did you do to make it a better place than where you left it at? And then that's where we dug into all of the different things. And when I tell you, you started spitting like fire. You couldn't see me on the opposite side because we were on a recorded line. But I was over there like, yes, like this is it, this is it. And I know you heard like some of the excitement in my voice, but I was so like excited in doing your resume and how you would say something and how me probing you would just pull out and would dig you back in to think about it. The one thing that I want you to touch upon before we go into your job offers is you were given an assignment that was way above your pay grade. Even in your internship, but on your current job. What I tell people is stop worrying about if you're working above your pay grade. You want to work to where you want to get to. So be grateful when they give you something that's above your pay grade, because then you have something to put on your resume. You had that happen in your internship and in your current job. That's how I was able to rock your resume, and to basically, depending on what job that you select, allowed you and helped you to skip grades because of your experience that you did that was what? Above your pay grade. So I need this camera right here. So everybody, like, stop complaining when you're working above your pay grade. Stop complaining about that. Instead, take that as a resume builder. Take that and think of it as a resume builder. You are building skills to where you want to be. You want to always work above. You want to be above your grade level, everything. Because if you're working at your grade level, you ain't making no move. And I said ain't with 2 college degrees, but you're not. So back to you. So let's jump right into your job offers. So you have 5 job offers. 5. And I wrote on Facebook and Instagram, we ain't talking no little jobs. You are how old?
23.
23 years old. You are making whichever job you picked. It doesn't even matter because all of them are nice, but you have the opportunity to make more or double starting off than some people make at the point of their retirement. And we're not gonna give like exact dollar amounts. I don't want all these little girls chasing you and your girlfriend. Like, we're gonna keep this. We're gonna make this. But the one thing that I'll say is, and I said it in my social media post, it's a hop and a skip away from 6 figures that everybody drives for. My goal is to be 6 figures. You are 23 years old. 23. Man, when I tell you the world is at your fingertip. So when you get into office, I'm not into politics or anything. Give me some grants or something so that I can help everybody else in terms of the program. But quickly, can you talk? Have you made your decision?
I have.
Oh my goodness. So quickly run down you can say whatever portion, you can say the organizations of what they are, or you can just say this number of them are in the federal government and this one is outside. You can do it however you want to, but quickly run through your jobs, and then, because I'm waiting to know what was the decision that you made.
Okay. So 3 of the jobs are in the federal government, and 2 are private. And the one I want to go with is going to be, I'm going to choose a job with the
Hold on, wait a minute, I got to do my drum roll.
Okay, here we go. FDIC.
Yes!
Down in Texas, yeah.
So congratulations, I'm excited for you. FDIC has that special pay rate. So, but not only in terms of that, it is the different criteria. So when I talked to you and your mom about the criteria, it was the alignment of your goal. That was my number 1 factor to make sure that you're in a position lining up with your goal. The second one was stability. Make sure that you do the evaluations of the organization to see who has the longevity. And then the third one was benefits. Make sure that your health benefits, your dental benefits, your life benefits, everything else that you can do, because people don't look at those intangible things. Those make up a great percentage. And then the last one, of course, is their pay. But you were in a good situation with all of the pays. FDIC is hard to get into. And they have that special rate. So congratulations. It has been a true joy working with you. I appreciate you. In terms of, like, let's do this in terms of your career. Anything else, let's get together, like, at points whenever you need some coaching. But as I told you, you were a perfect student. In terms of perfect, you were a great student. You can, what I share with you, make sure that you share with other people, and keep doing what you're doing. Congratulations times 5. I don't have to go through and say any last minute words or any last things that you want to say.
I'll be remiss if, like you said, I wouldn't thank my mother. You've been saying her name a whole lot. So, thank you to my mom,
Yes,
for bringing
yes,
support
yeah.
system, my family, just want to say thank you to all of them.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And when you get at your next phase or your next point, would love to have you back on the show. You know I'm going to follow your career. You're 23. You know I'm going to follow your career. So thank you again. It was my pleasure in serving you. And enjoy, man. Enjoy the ride.
Thank you.
Enjoy the ride. So, woo, y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, I was so excited through the whole process that we went through. But we had one more topic that we're going to quickly go on, so I'm going to take it back. Dr. Karen, can we jump into special hiring authorities, and can you start off the conversation from the standpoint of private sector?
Yes, absolutely. Just want to remind everyone, while you're out there looking for a job, you want to self-identify if you have any special situations that may give you an upper hand in terms of being considered in the private sector. And those situations can be a disability. It could be veteran preference. There may be a question in the process that asks you if you are receiving local or state assistance. And don't be afraid to self-identify, because sometimes if you self-identify, may give you preference in the hiring process. And so just don't hold back on that. If you're qualified and you have those special situations, that may give you the edge in terms of being pushed into the qualified pool.
Great, awesome. The federal government, like right now, it is so many things that are going on. The recent hire program, that's what this young man that you just heard, all of it's just variations. One aspect and one utilization was the recent hire. All of these young kids who are graduating or completing, I don't even want to say graduating, who are completing the requirements with these college degrees, y'all need to get them into the federal government. It's a non-competitive process at the end of it where you can be converted. The beginning part of it is a competitive process. And don't just wait until they're graduating. Start them off when they're going into high school. When they're going into high school, they can get these internships. They can work with an organization for so long. And then at the end of it, when they graduate, they can be converted non-competitive. There's so many other things, and I'll go through them very quickly. Veterans preference. You have always heard of veterans preference for the most part in terms of the federal government. Veterans preference is still around and it's kicking it, but we need those programs that are set for them. But there's so many others where veterans preference does not apply. So there are a plethora of programs. Anybody that's a veteran, especially anybody that got hurt while they were in the military in one of the campaigns, like you have a ticket. You have a ticket. I don't understand, and I can't even imagine why you're not using that golden ticket. And then the next thing that I'll talk about is Schedule A and disability. A lot of people think that when you say disability, that it means something physical that you can see. There are so many different things. Look at, and I'll put the link in the feed, but look at OPM, Office of Personnel Management, and look at Schedule A, disability. Disability doesn't mean that it has to be physical. You think about things like, I could qualify. I have asthma. So asthma, diabetes, chronic headaches, things that you probably wouldn't even think of, they qualify as disability. And when you're not going and getting your paperwork done and utilizing this mechanism, you're missing out on a great opportunity. Most organizations now, and FDA is just starting theirs up, they have a department that handles Schedule A, disability. And when we are given a position where a manager is looking to hire, we make reference to that and say, hey, we're not stopping you from going out with your vacancy announcement, but while you're doing that, do you want to look at the Schedule A's? So this is a leg up before they go through the entire process of everything. And then the other thing is direct hire. That's another one of the job offers where Mr. Campbell had the opportunity to utilize. Direct hire means direct hire. A manager can see you somewhere and say, talks to you and have a bulletin open, not a vacancy announcement, and say, oh, I'm interested in this person. Bring the application back. There's no competition. It's for IT jobs, cybersecurity, COVID-19. COVID-19 has a special direct hire. So I'm telling you all, I've worked for the federal government my entire career, and there's so many different positions there. I'm sure that it's something that aligns with you, or that where you have transferable skills. So we'll have another segment where we dig into that, or either you just follow me and register for one of my classes. But one of the things that we want to do is educate you on this show. So we just wanted to give you some tidbits about the special hiring authorities. So Dr. Karen, do you have any other last minute before I line up with the closeout that I do? Anything about the two topics that we talked about, and or just your excitement of being a part of the show?
Well, yes, I am excited about being part of the show, absolutely talking HR. But I just want to remind people who are out there looking for a job, keep your mind stuck on positive. Don't absorb what the media is saying. People are still interviewing. People are getting hired every day. Look at our guest. Our guest got multiple offers. He's not an anomaly. There are individuals who, with the right background, the right experience, matching it up with the right jobs, with the right qualifications, are very competitive in the workplace and are receiving job offers. So I want you to stay focused on the positive, and know that if you stay focused on the positive, and that you have your resume intact, and that you are tailoring it to the job that you are applying for, and you have the experience, that you too can be competitive when it comes to being a qualified candidate.
Yes, thank you so much. I am so looking forward to our future conversations on career and dipping into entrepreneur, and just having other guests to come on to tell you about their testimonies. I used to do this thing that was called Mail Alert or something, where I would talk about the various things, and he broke my record. I've had several people to have 3 job offers at the same, but never 5 at one time. So he has me pumped, and now y'all know me. I don't compete against nobody else. I compete against myself. So now we got 5, like woo, 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 woo. I'm excited. But thank you so much, Dr. Kern. Looking forward to all the discussions that we have. We're going to do this thing. We're going to have a ball doing it, and we are going to help so many people in our communities. And, oh my God, I'm just looking forward. So thank you so much for joining. I'm going to turn here and close out the show. So you all, thank you so much for everyone that's tuning in. Next week, we have another new contributing host, right? Y'all seen her on the show before. She's not a stranger. Her name is Neek. And she has an organization that helps matchmaker. So when I tell you it is the Help Meet Club, she helps individuals, single individuals, to meet others. And when I tell you, we are going to have a great time with that as well. You all remember the relationship shows where we talked about what men want and what women want? And I think we made it up to series 7 or part 7 or so. We're going to be getting into that serious relationship talk. We're going to have conversations about the various things. And so next week, we're going to have to dib and dab and talk about how relationships are surviving COVID-19. So thank you all so much for joining. And Major Bandy, I do want you and Boogaloo back. So he was a former guest. But thank you to everyone that's on the line. And thank you, Doris Banks. Doris said it's a great show. FDIC is a great place. Elizabeth Janine Stackhouse Powell, congratulations. So thank you all so much, everyone who joined in the show. But this is what we do at Let's Do It. I'm going to be putting information out, asking for different topics, and making the opportunity available for people to be a part on the show. Right now, we are doing it the safe way. No guests in the studio. Everybody is doing it by Zoom. But if y'all could see what I see on the other side of the camera, the studio is lit. So when things open back up, we are going to have a party in here, but for now, it's going to be through Zoom. So again, thank you so much. If we can put the slide up to show everyone how to stay connected. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So thank you all so much. That's the end of our show. Oh, one more thing. Next weekend, we will be Dr. Karen and I, we will be a part of Career Elevation. So we have a flyer. Check my page and all the other speakers' page. A bunch of HR people coming together, giving out valuable information at no cost to you. So make sure you jump on my page, register for that. I think we have about 50 people that's registered as of today, but register before you get locked out. We're locking it off at 100. So thank you all so much. This has been a wonderful show to me. My heart is smiling. I'm excited for my client and all my other clients. So y'all, let's do this. Let's make some magic happen. I'll see you all next week.